What's up, the John Squad? This is Champion here, your YouTube World Heavyweight Champion here on YouTube. I'm coming to my WWE Monday Night Raw review for July 29th, 2019. So let's do this, shall we, the John Squad? So we kicked out the Monday Night Raw last night with R-Truth and Carmella versus Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle for the 24/7 championship, and the winner was, and still, the 24/7 champion, R-Truth. But then after the match, all the superstars around the ring dog pile on top of R-Truth, and we have a new 24/7 champion, and that is Mike Kanellis. He wins the 24/7 championship, then runs to the back and hides into the door, and his wife Maria Kanellis wants him to open up the door, and he lets her in, and then we're going to get on that later on to the show, what happens here. So then the second match we had on Raw was a gauntlet match, where the winner faces AJ Styles at SummerSlam for the United States Championship. We had was Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro, and Rey Mysterio eliminates Cesaro. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn, and Rey Mysterio eliminates Sami Zayn. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Andrade, and Andrade eliminates Rey Mysterio. But then, after the Andrade versus Rey Mysterio match, Andrade rips Rey Mysterio's mask off, and Rey Mysterio couldn't do nothing about it. And unfortunately, then next thing you know is then Ricochet comes out, and then we have Andrade versus Ricochet, and the winner of that match was Ricochet. Ricochet is the winner. He gets to face AJ Styles at SummerSlam for the United States Championship. So then we had Mike Kanellis and his wife Maria in the back, and Maria tells Mike Kanellis to get down and lay on his back so she can pin him for the 24/7 championship. And so guess what? Maria wins the 24/7 championship, and she becomes the 24/7 champion, the first ever pregnant woman to win the 24/7 championship. So then, the third match on Raw was a Raw Tag Team Championship Triple Threat Tag Team title match. That was the Usos versus the OC. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus the Revival. And the winner was, and we have new Raw Tag Team Champions, the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So then we had a moment of bliss, and Alexa Bliss talks about the Raw reunion and what Dolph Ziggler did to Shawn Michaels, and then we had Alexa Bliss appears on the Tron, and then Alexa Bliss shows footage of what Alexa Bliss, what Becky Lynch did to Natalia and Fit Finlay by attacking them both from earlier today. So then Becky Lynch appears on the Tron and talks to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and that's what happens to in that segment where Becky Lynch says that she'll see them later on tonight. So then, the next match we had on Raw was the Viking Raiders versus Colin Carter and Johnny James. I like the name, Johnny James. And the winner was the Viking Raiders. So then, the fifth match on Raw was Becky Lynch versus Alexa Bliss, and the winner was Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch did her finisher on to not the disarmer, her signature move onto Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss couldn't continue, so that leads to Alexa Bliss cannot continue the match. So this leads to Becky Lynch as the winner. So Nikki Cross steps up and wants to fight Alexa Bliss. So then the next match on Raw was Becky Lynch versus Nikki Cross, and the winner was Becky Lynch. So then after the match was over, Alexa Bliss was okay, and she beats up on Becky Lynch and with Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross beat up on Becky Lynch, and Natalia comes out and attacks Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Then Natalia puts a sharpshooter onto Alexa Bliss. So then another match you had on Raw was Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. And the winner was Seth Rollins because during the match, it caused by DQ for Dolph Ziggler, because during the match, Brock Lesnar comes out and attacks Seth Rollins and suplexes him a lot of times. Then F5s him on the chair and a lot of times. Then Seth Rollins has a bloody teeth and stuff like that. So then Brock Lesnar is suplexing him, F5ing him a lot of times. Paul Heyman's telling Brock Lesnar to stop. So then what happens next is that Seth Rollins has to be held onto a stretcher because he's in a lot of pain. So the next thing you know is that Brock Lesnar stops the ambulance from leaving, and then, oh man, poor Seth Rollins, man, it's just not his night. So then what happens is Brock Lesnar stops the ambulance, and what happens is that he pulls the stretcher right out of the ambulance and F5s Seth Rollins on the stretcher. So then we had on Raw was the final part we had on Raw was the Samoa Summit, and Samoa Joe says that he's gonna cancel the Samoa Summit and he wants to fight Roman Reigns right now. So then Roman Reigns comes on out and then they two have a brawl. Joe beats up on Roman and then they two have a brawl and Roman Reigns beats up on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe tosses Roman Reigns into the steel steps. Then Roman Reigns tosses the steel steps at Samoa Joe. Then this leads to Drew McIntyre coming out and beat up on Roman Reigns. And then Roman Reigns beats up on Drew McIntyre. And then next thing you know is that this leads to Drew McIntyre brawling around the arena with the fans. Not around the arena, but into the crowd with the fans. Back into the ring. Then Joe and Drew McIntyre beat up by Roman Reigns in the ring. Then Cedric Alexander comes out and makes the save. So then this leads to Joe taking out Cedric Alexander. So then this leads to them brawling around. And then this leads to Cedric Alexander on top of the stage, gets Drew McIntyre and Cedric Alexander above the stage. Then Drew McIntyre and Drew McIntyre and Samoa Joe were gonna put Roman Reigns right through now chamber until the Usos make the save and beat up on Samoa Joe and Drew McIntyre. Then we have the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson come out and they have a brawl with the Usos. Then all of a sudden, Cedric Alexander jumps up off of the IED board onto everyone and lays everyone all out. And then next thing you know is that they all head back towards the ring. And next thing you know is that Roman Reigns does a Superman punch. Alexander jumps over the top rope. Those who do the super kick. And Roman Reigns, Cedric Alexander, the Usos stand tall to end WWE Monday Night Raw last night. What a crazy, hectic WWE Monday Night Raw last night. And I think my favorite part of WWE Monday Night Raw was Maria winning the 24/7 championship. And of course, the Street Profits backstage was really funny with Seth Rollins when they said burn it down, all three of them together. Man, oh man, it was just funny. So once again, the John Squad, please like this video. Leave your comments down below what your favorite part of WWE Monday Night Raw last night. And subscribe for more. You're all the best, John Squad. You're all one of a kind. I love each and every single one of y'all. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss up on my videos. Peace out, the John Squad. I love you guys. And when you subscribe, you become a champion here on this channel.